So thanks, Vivek, for the intro. So what I would do is talk about more from Wipro experiences in the ESDM space. What is the journey that we have gone through, and what are the changes that we have seen? Because the topic, as part of this, the IESA summit, as well as part of the larger IESA, focuses more on how the ESDM will grow in the industry. So we'll give some examples in terms of what we have gone through and how we have been working with the ecosystem and what are the challenges we have seen, what are the successes we have seen. These are some of the recent examples of the products that we have taken up in the last few years, going back right from the TV, digital TV, called the Christmas TV, we name it. It was done in 2011 for a OEM in the US. And this is one of the example of the work. So if you look at each of these work, the reason why I wanted to put all these together is there is a different model that we have adopted in developing these products. In some cases, these products were done for global customers. In some cases, these were designed, developed, and even manufactured here in India. So it gives a perspective of how things have evolved over a period of time. In the DTV case, it was a product where the core IP, the digital TV IP, the ATC stack came from Wipro. We work with a semiconductor company. We work with the final end OEM who's based in the US. And there is a ODM who was based in Taiwan. And the challenge is more in terms of getting all the technologies together, integrating all of them, and meet the time to market needs. So this was a product where there was a fundamental IP and a core technology coming, as well as a lot of system integration that is happening from Wipro that went into in terms of creating this product. The second one is another good example of high-performance computing platform that we created based on blade servers, based on x86 processors. So this was an example of a product which was completely designed, developed in Wipro, and when we say design developed, it includes the electrical, mechanical, and the complete system and the operating system part of it, porting the operating system part of it, so that a complete product can be rolled out of India. And this is a product which has been shipping in the global market today. More than 15,000 of these blade servers are rolled out of India to the global market. So the design, the capabilities of doing the complete design, capabilities of manufacturing with local partners, everything is happening out of India as far as this product is concerned. The customer is global, their customers is global, but the product is completely done out of India. So again, another example of what has been happening, how we have been leveraging the ecosystem. I think this is a change that you see, what we have also seen in Wipro. Compared to 5 years back when we used to develop a product, it used to be where we used to work on either a hardware or a software, where requirements coming from here, and the rest of the work used to go outside. We see two changes. One is obviously we are leveraging the local ecosystem, where it doesn't stop at the design. It goes into manufacturing, goes into working with other local partners, whether it's other service companies, other IP companies. That's one change. The second significant change that we see in some of these products, or even something that I will talk about later, is a lot of these products are also driven by demand from the local market. And that is where a lot of the discussion that we have been having in the morning and in the previous forums, if the local market demand comes in, then everything else will fall in place. I think there is a basic capability that exists. There is an ecosystem that is getting built up. And as the demand changes, a lot of these integration will also happen. So that's the second thing on the high-performance computing. There are other products like the Ethernet switch for a mobile backhaul application. This is again one of the examples of a product which was actually conceived for the local market. Local market, when I mean not only for the India, other emerging market, and the need was felt. Our customer looked at the market need and looked at what it needed to get the product done. Again, it's a development completely done here, software, hardware integration, product validation, and taken both to the India market and to the global market. And similarly, the things like the attendance terminal is more like an entire end-to-end product development. So you see a shift and you see a change that's happening. One is in terms of how the development is getting done along with the manufacturing more and more. So that's one key change. Second thing is we also see the change in terms of the need and demand coming from the local market. This is another example of a product that is in development or have been happening the last 1 year. I think some of you might be aware there's a lot of demand for ATMs in the India market, what we call as a rural ATM product, and where the demand for the ATMs is expected to grow at least 3 to 4 times compared to what it is today. And that's one trigger. At the same time, the cost point has to be significantly lower. I think we are talking about at the market price level, it being at least 1/3 or 1/4 of what it is today from when you take an imported system. And this was a product where we had taken up work with a local OEM. Again, the product, it's not that every single sub-module of the product was completely developed, but it's more about achieving the time to market and achieving the price point. I mean, what kind of product redesign has to be done? What kind of sourcing of vendors, looking at partners who can supply those components, whether it's a mechanical or some of this electronic subsystem like the power supply, that has to be done to achieve the price point. I think this was, again, a good example of something from pilot to finish. It was done entirely in 6-month time frame. And so this is in the final phase of testing. But again, this is another example of a demand in the local market pulling in terms of what is needed from making the entire system development, design, and manufacturing out of India. So this is an example of another thing that's which is more what we call as Assure Health, where it's more like a cardiac patient monitoring or remote patient monitoring kind of a solution. And I think you can see it outside in our booth there in terms of this product. This also gives one more example. I mean, when we talk about ESDM, the key thing here is it's not just about developing the product alone. I think we have heard in the morning from many of the speakers and also from what we have seen. It is more and more, it is more about giving an entire solution. So a lot of times, it is not just about building the device, it's also building the complete ecosystem and the complete solution. And this is one example of where we build the other capabilities of what exists in companies, whether it's product companies or service companies, how we can make it work. I mean, here this is a platform where it is getting rolled out into hospitals today in pilot basis. So where you not only have the sensor device, you are also connecting to an aggregator, you are connecting to a back-end server where you can take the data to a nursing dashboard or a physician dashboard who can see the data in real time and give an integrated healthcare platform, right? And I think so this is also one of the things that we need to look at as devices get more and more integrated. We need a lot more capabilities of giving an integrated solution which goes beyond the device. And we see that need coming more and more as the India market also evolves more and more into some of these needs. The kind of capability that we need to address the demand also will keep changing. So to summarize, what are the kind of experiences that we have gone through? I think obviously the opportunities to address the local market has been increasing. As I said, when we started our design services business, used to be global customers coming and saying, get this hardware done or a software done. Now, a lot of times the opportunities to address local market, even when a global OEM comes, they are trying to look at what is needed in the local market or emerging market and how that opportunity is opening up system design and manufacturing as a need for the local market. One is there is enough ecosystem built already today, whether it's design companies, whether it's IP companies who are having the IP that's available with them, or it is manufacturing or a supplier setup. We have the ecosystem evolved over a period of time, and there's a lot of interaction that's happening. At the same time, from a talent standpoint, you can leverage a global ecosystem because when you develop a product, there are bound to be challenges, there are bound to be issues. But I don't think there need to be any restriction in terms of how we tap the talent, global talent base. I think we do that repeatedly, where sometimes some niche expertise needed, we may not have it locally. Whether they are in Europe or US or Japan, we try to leverage that so that you try to address a need. I think we need to see how we can create that kind of an ecosystem, make that work. Interconnected devices are driving more integrated solution. So how companies and the local ecosystem will address that will become a key need. And finally, seamless user experience is becoming more and more of a need. As we build solutions, we try to address the end user need. That is what will really help in terms of the growth of the overall market. So it is happening today, whatever we talk about, the integrated electronic system design and manufacturing. The question is, how do you leverage and scale it to the next level? So I will stop here. Thank you.